Even though the Angels took Game 1 of this series, there were great signs for your Rangers in that loss. The offense we all know and love was back. Key hits, home runs, and a great night from Josh Hamilton. While the two teams combined for 23 runs last night, tonight's game should be a pitching showcase. With the Angels' Jared Weaver and the Rangers' Derek Holland facing off, both teams may end up wishing they'd saved some of those runs from last night's slugfest. Your Rangers and the LA Angels, Game 2. It's coming up on Fox Sports Southwest. Another toasty evening at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Large crowd again filing in, and this is going to be a dandy, folks. The Rangers and the Angels in Game 2 of this 4-game series. And welcome in, everyone. Along with Tom Grieve, I'm Steve Busby. Glad to have you along. And tonight promises to be one of those games that you may remember for a long time, because you have two pitchers on the mound that can really light things up. You have Jared Weaver and, of course, Derek Holland for the Rangers. And, Tom, Derek Holland may be the guy the Rangers most want out there right now.
Well, I agree with you, Buzz. And right before Derek's last start, after a bad start in Anaheim, he said, it's time for me to step up and pitch like I can. And he did. He had an excellent start against the Red Sox. He pitched 7 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs, only 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, but he really had a good assortment of pitches. He looked just like the Derek Holland you expect to see and hope you will see the next 2 months of the season.
Yeah, good command of the fastball, and everything starts with the fastball for Derek Holland, as it does with most pitchers, but Derek can make that thing sing when he gets it going. Well, a lot of new faces coming in and leaving the Rangers, and Giovanni Soto, one of those. He is the newest Ranger in uniform tonight. And Dana Larson will be up just a little bit later to give you the lowdown on what all has transpired in the last day. Rangers and Angels coming up on Fox Sports Southwest. Summer sales event and enjoy some of the greatest deals of the season. Ford is the best in Texas. Buy Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Well, a lot of things going on for Ron Washington's ball club, and here to fill us in on the comings and goings for the Rangers the last 16, 17 hours. So welcome Dana Larson. Dana.
Hi, Buzz. It has been a whirlwind 18 hours or so here in Arlington, so let's recap, shall we? It all started last night when the Rangers traded for catcher Giovanni Soto from the Chicago Cubs, and as a result, they designated for assignment Yorvi Torrealba. They now have 10 days to trade him or waive him. And then about 10 minutes before the trade deadline this afternoon, they announced that they had traded for starting pitcher Ryan Dempster, also from the Chicago Cubs. The domino effect on the rotation has Roy Oswalt heading to the bullpen. That meant Scott Feldman had officially earned the opportunity to remain in the starting rotation. But more bad news on the injury front. Neftali Feliz will have Tommy John surgery tomorrow and is officially done for the year. And yeah, oh, by the way, the Angels are here in town, and Jared Weaver is on the mound. Elvis Andrus, though, is feeling very lighthearted and good, as you just saw there, messing with the camera just a little bit. They are up for the challenge. The offense is feeling much better after last night, and we will talk more about that throughout the game. But it has been a bit of a wild day, a day that the Rangers certainly hope will end with a victory. Buzz.
All right, Dana, thank you. Tell Elvis to leave the camera alone. You saw what happened last night. Yorvi Torrealba messed with it, and he was no longer with the club.
Yep, Emily took care of that.
That's right. That's right. Be careful down there. Yeah, Elvis giddy because of how well he does against Jared Weaver, too. He loves to see this guy come into town. Maybe one of the few right-handed hitters in baseball that feels that way. But certainly Elvis's numbers back him up. And the Rangers taking the field, Josh Hamilton and company, and Derek Holland heading out for the start here tonight. And we mentioned Derek has been very, very good in July. And this being the last day of July, hope he can carry things through tonight and perform as the way he did last July also. Here's the lineup he will face tonight. Mike Scioscia has Mike Trout, the center fielder, leading off. Torrey Hunter bats second, plays right field. The first baseman is Albert Pujols. Back in the lineup after being out with a bad back, Mark Trumbo will handle the DH chores and hit fourth. Howie Kendrick can start at second base. He hits fifth. Hitting sixth, playing third, Alberto Callasco. Left fielder tonight, Vernon Wells, a local product. Hitting eighth, playing shortstop, Meister Asturias. And Chris Iannetta is back in the lineup, and he is catching, batting ninth.
Well, look at the scouting report for Derek. 7-5 on the season. He's had 15 starts, spent some time on the disabled list. 6 or more innings in 4 starts since coming off the disabled list. Given up 4 home runs in his last 2 starts. 2 starts ago, he gave up 8 or 9 hits and 6 runs in Anaheim. His last start, even though he gave up a couple of home runs, he only gave up 3 runs in 7 2/3 innings. Beat the Red Sox 5-3. Probably since he's come off the disabled list, best assortment of pitches. He had a good fastball with good pitches to go along with it. Looked like he was right where he wanted to be, and hopefully that'll continue tonight.
I want to apologize to all the Chris Iannetta fans for mispronouncing his name. I made a mistake. Well, the defense tonight behind Derek Holland looks like this. David Murphy in left, Josh Hamilton in center, Nelly Cruz in right. Mitch Moreland back at first base, Kinsler and Andrews up the middle, Beltre at third, and handling the catching, Knight Napoli, and Derek Holland on the mound. Umpiring crew, Jim Reynolds will be calling the balls and strikes, a 13-year veteran out of Massachusetts. Jim Hoy at first, Jim Joyce at second, and Mike DeMuro is over at third. Just about ready to get underway. The Rangers have a 4-game lead over the Angels as we begin play tonight. The Athletics in Oakland is still in second place, 3.5 back. And the first pitch of the ballgame is a strike, as punched out by Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire. Mike Trout, gaudy numbers. He's leading the league in batting at .351. On base percentage better than .400. And that pitch fouled away to the right. So Derek Holland has an 0-2 advantage. 103 degrees at first pitch this evening. Folks were feeling warm. That's you're doing so with good reason.
Well, there's one for you. The first rookie since 1951 to score 30 runs in a month. That's a long time ago.
Minnie Minoso, I believe, was that rookie in 1951 that did that. No balls, 2 strikes. And Derek Holland back to the plate. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball. Back foot slider, and Trout is gone. That is out number 1.
We got ahead of him with his fastball and finished him off 0-2 with a good breaking ball. Great location with it.
Well, a pretty good combination of pitches there, and the 2 of them has Mike Trout talking to himself on the way back to the dugout. 1 away, Torrey Hunter will step in. And Holland's first pitch to the Gold Glove right fielder. It is strike 1. Hunter at 284, 11 and 45 the power numbers. 1-1 the count. And Torrey Hunter, we mentioned, since moving to the number 2 slot, well, he has been on fire, and that's something unusual for Hunter because he had never hit well in the number 2 hole before. But Mike Scioscia put him up there a little over a month ago. He just took off. He's hitting .325. So it's being moved to the number 2 slot in the order. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Torrey Hunter, a smile for Mike Napoli. You took the worst of that pitch in the dirt. And Holland giving Knapp a little chance to recover. Derek back up on top of the hill, ready to work. Inside and low, it's 3 balls and a strike. Giovanni Soto, the newest Ranger. And Ron Washington saying today that he will catch his teammate in Chicago. Drive to right field. Cruz going back. The wind helping it a bit, and Nelly has to get onto the warning track before he's able to track it down. That's out number 2.
It didn't look like Hunter hit the ball well enough to go 370 feet, but it carried out there that far.
That may be a pretty good sign that that jet stream is in full effect tonight. Wind blowing in from right center field, and typically that's the direction out of the south-southeast that really turns around and provides lift for balls going back out to right. Flags fluttering in that breeze. About 10 to 12 miles an hour this evening. So 2 gone, bases empty for Albert Pujols. Strike 1.
Hey, Derek has thrown a couple of fastballs, one at 95, the last one at 94. That's good to see.
I don't think we saw him kick it up that high last time out, did we?
No, I think, Derek's been throwing the ball fine, 92, 93, but nice to see that little extra tonight.
Yeah, he gets gets ahead of Pujols. No balls, 2 strikes. Had a good fastball on his fists. Target set inside. Holland comes back, up and in, and Pujols throwing the bat straight up in the air, gets out of the way. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Well, you look at the tale of 2 seasons for Albert Pujols, 190 in the first month plus, and since then 322. But just able to stay alive as Holland really pulled the string.
Yeah, that's the one that Mike Trout wasn't able to make contact with. Pujols was fooled by it, but just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Mark of a good hitter, able to do that?
Yeah. It doesn't look like much, but it's the difference between getting another chance and striking out.
And Pujols turns on one and drives one high to left field. It's playable as David Murphy goes back into the shadows out there and left, puts it away, and Derek Holland, on the strength of 13 quality pitches, has a 1-2-3 inning. So the Rangers coming to bat in the bottom of the first. Angels nothing, Rangers coming up on Fox Sports Southwest. That Ron Washington will run to the plate against Jared Weaver tonight. Ian Kinsler leads things off. He's the second baseman. He's followed by the shortstop, Ellis Andrews. Adrian Beltre again batting third and playing third. Cleaning things up, Nelly Cruz, the right fielder. In center tonight, Josh Hamilton. Michael Young will be the DH. He'll bat sixth. David Murphy in left field bats seventh. Mike Napoli catches and hits eighth. And the ninth place hitter is the first baseman, Mitch Moreland.
Jared Weaver 13-1 on the season. The only loss was to the Rangers. 7-0, 174 in 7 starts. He's won all 7 of them since coming off the disabled list. Stay out of here. 201 opponent's batting average, second best opponent's batting average in the league. Got the best earned run average, and second with 13 wins. The game against the Rangers, he gave up 10 hits and 8 runs in 3 1/3. It was back on May 13th in this ballpark.
One ball, one strike to Ian Kinsler.
He's 8-0 with an .092 earned run average at home. And very good on the road. 5-1, 363. Not quite as untouchable as he is at home, though.
Well, the last matchup between Holland and Weaver out in Anaheim about 10 days ago. That one won by the Angels 6-1 as Kinsler takes outside. It's 3 balls and a strike. And you'll remember on that evening in the first inning, Elvis Andrus continued his hot hitting against Jared Weaver, hit a solo home run, but that was going to be all that the Rangers scored that night. As Weaver won for the 6th consecutive time that evening, he's since added one more. 3-1 pitch to Kinsler, and that's powdered but foul. Well down the left field line and into the club level of seats, about even with the foul pole. Full count now to Ian. Kinsler, as you saw, a .272 hitter. 11 home runs, 47 driven in. Weaver's payoff pitch. And Kinsler staying alive with that foul ball back over the screen.
Weaver was on the disabled list. He had lower back strain and spasms. Spent about a little more than 3 weeks on the disabled list. Didn't hurt him. He's come back and won all 7 of his starts.
Check swing. Did he go around? It doesn't matter. It's a called third strike. And Ian is gone, according to Jim Reynolds. Now, Ian, a little discussion with Reynolds on his way back to the dugout. Well, a strikeout for both pitchers to start off their half innings.
Weaver threw in a slider on the 3-2 pitch. It's tough to say. I don't know whether he called it a strike or whether he called it a swing, or both. Swing was very close. Pitch was very close.
Now here's Elvis, and he takes the fastball for strike 1. Told you about Elvis's prolific hitting against Jared Weaver. .431, 22 for 51 for the Rangers shortstop. A ball and a strike. Elvis enjoying hitting against the Angels, period. Last 10 ball games especially. Takes that outside. It's 2-1 now. And if you happen to miss the news on Neftali Feliz, he is going to undergo Tommy John surgery. I believe they said tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then the next day. But Dr. Keith Meister, the Rangers orthopedist, will be performing that surgery, and well, it's a shame. Elvis driving one to left field, but it's right at the left fielder Vernon Wells. Glasses gleaming, and he makes the catch for out number 2. And we'll check in now as you look at Colby Lewis, another one of the surgery victims for the Rangers. We saw Wells in left field, Trout in center, Hunter in right, Pujols, Kendrick, Isturis, and Callaspo around the infield. Chris Iannetta behind the plate, and Jared Weaver is on the mound.
And that line drive to Vernon Wells might have come about 10 minutes too late. The sun had set far enough to where he didn't really have to contend with the sun. Still a little bit, but not like it was with David Murphy and Mike Trout last night.
Here's Adrian Beltre, and he takes a strike. Yeah, Vernon's in that space out there. The one ray of sunshine that's coming through is where the roof on the stands above the first base side don't quite come into the stands themselves. So there's a little gap that you get the sunlight going through. Beltre, a hard hit ball, but gobbled up by Asturis. And the Rangers, like the Angels, go down in 1-2-3 fashion. We played one inning, no score, Angels and Rangers on Fox Sports Southwest. Numbers 4, 5, and 6 for the Angels to face Derek Holland. Mark Trumbo, the designated hitter, to start things off. I mentioned Trumbo had been out of the lineup for better part of 2 games with some back stiffness. Goes after the first pitch and grounds out to Elvis Andrus. And before Howie Kendrick steps in, let's welcome Jim Knox in this evening. Jim.
All right, thank you, Buzz. Another nice Ranger crowd here at the ballpark tonight and Community Corner this evening. We're talking about the very first Rangers Labor Day race. That's right, Ranger fans, you can be a part of this on Labor. That is September 3rd, Monday. Race around the ballpark here in Arlington and help out a good cause. That's the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation. Get a T-shirt. Got to choose from either a 5K or 1K. To find out more, log on to TexasRangers.com. Buzz?
All right, Jim, thank you. Howie Kendrick steps in and takes a fastball for strike one. Kendrick batting at .276 for the Angels. 5 home runs and 35 RBI and 8 for 28 against Derek Holland as he sprays one down the right field line, and that will slice back into the seats. Well out of play. It's no balls, 2 strikes. And boy, Derek Holland for the first 5 hitters now has really done a good job of getting ahead in the count. And that is such a key for Derek Holland, as it is for most pitchers. There's a big swing and a miss. Again, a 3-pitch strikeout. Very much like Mike Trout to start the game. Howie Kendrick gone. That's out number 2.
Pretty much the same formula. 2 fastballs and then a slider down and out of the strike zone. Almost a carbon copy of that at bat.
Yep. Pretty effective. You throw.
Yeah, I like your chances. Yeah. You get ahead 0-2 with your fastball and then throw that pitch. I like your chances.
Yeah. Alberto Callaspo, the switch-hitting third baseman, is up there. He takes strike one. Callaspo, .248 for the year, 7-32, and he has had some good success, as you note, against Derek Holland. .381 his average against the Ranger left-hander. Derek studying the sign from Mike Napoli, and the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball. Right there is Ian Kinsley on to first. Boy, and then how about an 8-pitch inning for Derek Holland? 1, 2, 3, and gone are the Angels after 1.5. Angels nothing, Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. The official game notes the moment they're released from the Rangers. You can access the same pregame notes that the media, we announcers, and baseball execs receive at texasrangers.com/game notes. You ever wonder where all the minutia comes from? Just check that out. It's not that we have it all committed to memory, far from it, but some interesting information in those game notes. Nelly Cruz to start things off against Jared Weaver. And Weaver fires a strike with that fastball. Cruz blasted his 15th home run of the year last night. Now 63 RBI. Weaver misses just outside. It's 1-1. 63 RBI, now second on the ball club to Josh Hamilton. Weaver's 1-1 pitch. Got him on the fists and a ground ball to short. Isturis on to Pujols. And Cruz is retired. That's one away for Josh Hamilton. Check out the Ford leaderboard tonight. Longest home runs at Rangers Ballpark by Nelson Cruz. Now last night the third longest, 453 feet. Last year against Detroit he hit one 459. Here's that one last night. He was headed toward Duncanville before the rest of the ballpark got in the way. Way up on top there, almost to the camera positions out there in dead center. And we'll see what Josh Hamilton brings with him tonight. Last night he had a great approach, as Tom was telling you. Well, he really made sure he swung at strikes, tried to take the ball up the middle, not trying to pull anything. And, it worked out pretty well. There's a rip and a miss on a changeup. It's 1-1.
Now, hopefully last night and that approach will be a big confidence boost for Josh. Even great players sometimes have a little spell where their confidence is down.
Hamilton, a broken bat looper to left field. On comes Wells, and he has time to get there as the ball hangs up for him. And that's out number 2. Josh staying with that idea, just got that down toward the end of the bat a bit.
Hey, he took a close pitch, the first pitch, a fastball that was a ball. The pitches he swung at were strikes. Just fooled a little bit by the changeup, and that's kind of what Weaver does. Not an exceptionally hard thrower, but he is the epitome of a pitcher. He's got all the pitches, changes speeds, great location. That's why he is one of the best in the business.
Michael Young now stepping in, the Ranger designated hitter, takes strike 1.
The other thing that Weaver has going for him is tall, lanky, turns his back to the hitter, all arms and legs. Probably tough for the hitter to pick up, too.
You say for a right-hander, there's going to be a lot of deception in there, isn't there?
Definitely.
You know, he has been outstanding, and not just this year for the Angels. He has been their stalwart of their staff for the last 5 years. Michael Young, a chopper out to short. Isturis will peg across to Pujols, and the Rangers, like the Angels, have gone 6 up and 6 down. We finished 2 innings in Arlington. Rangers nothing, Angels nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Head to your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best in Texas. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Vernon Wells swinging at the first pitch here in the top of the third. Skies at the center. Josh Hamilton toward right center makes the grab. One pitch and one away. Well, joining us tonight, and we really appreciate his presence, the Ranger president and CEO, Nolan Ryan. Nolan, it's been a bit of a busy time the last 18 hours or so for you and the organization.
Well, I have to say that probably John Daniel and Thad Levine, the baseball guys, are probably glad that deadline's over. I think they're tired of probably talking on the phone.
Nolan, when you talk about the process, not necessarily all the names, but a lot of different teams, a lot of different players talked about. The one thing that seemed to come through was the Rangers value some of their prospects to the point where you just weren't going to trade them. Is that fair to say?
Well, you know, there's a handful of prospects that you feel are really special and feel like they're going to have an impact on your major league club, and they may fill a position that you see in the future, or that they just have a value, and you just really nobody's untouchable. It's just that the right deal would have to come along, and so in these kind of deals where you have people that are going to be free agents at the end of the year, or maybe only control them for one more year, you have to look at all those things, and it impacts who you're willing to let go.
No, we see President Bush sitting there next to you. Did he approve or disapprove of the trade?
No, he said we did a good job. He thought that the trade was a good trade and that we've improved ourselves. So, we got the official seal on it.
Remind him that he thought the Harold Baines trade was a good trade too.
The Harold who trade? he said he will never outlive that.
Well, it wasn't his fault.
They said it wasn't your fault.
Josh Hamilton now, 2 catches in the inning, 2 outs, and Chris Iannetta coming up.
But, you know, it's an interesting process, mainly with a trade deadline. You know, it's obviously different in the winter when you don't have those restraints on you, and there's so many people who think they are still in the race and they're vying for the same talent. And so sometimes you just have to back off and say, you know, we just don't feel like that's fair value.
But at the same time, don't you feel with everybody that was looking at Ryan Dempster that you feel pretty fortunate that you were the team that came out with such a good pitcher?
Well, we feel very good about that, and we feel good about our system, that people view our system and the players in our system to the level that they're willing to make a trade of that nature. And so, yeah, you do. You feel good with the player that you've gotten, and you feel good about the fact that people view your system in that manner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nolan, with the sad news about Neftali Feliz now having to have Tommy John surgery, you got two starters that started the year in the rotation with he and Colby Lewis out. Did that influence the kind of trade you were looking to make as this got down to the final hours?
Well, you know, Buzz, I think it fluctuates as you get closer to the deadline, and you see what your needs are, and the injuries obviously come into play, and so the fact that we felt like that we'd be better served with a starter versus somebody in the bullpen, and so we probably focused more on that. But that doesn't mean we didn't try to improve the bullpen, too, if there was an opportunity to.
Sure. Pitch to Ionette is a bit low. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Talking with Rangers president and CEO Nolan Ryan. And Nolan, you've got to feel, I would think, pretty pleased about how well you were able to fortify the ball club without changing things a whole lot. A couple of names coming in, a couple of names going. But, I mean, it wasn't a drastic remake, but still you're significantly better now than you were, say, 48 hours ago.
Well, our goal is to always try to improve the ball club, and we feel like we did that, and we feel like that going forward that we have a catcher that can probably work into our plans for next year, and so we're excited about that, and that we brought a veteran presence to the rotation, and we feel like with Kobe going down with his arm injury that Ryan comes in and fills that role for us.
Yeah, Ryan has to feel pretty good that not only did you get him, you brought his catcher in with him.
Yeah, so they know each other. I'd like that if it were me. Mainly coming to a different league.
Chris Ionetta draws a 2-out walk, and that's one that Eric Holland might kick himself a little bit about. But first base runner of the ball game for either ball club, and it'll take the Angels back to the top of the order. And Mike Trout. To tonight's game, Nolan, you've had a chance to see this young man at the plate now, Mike Trout, an outstanding-looking talent, isn't he?
He really is. He's energized this organization over there, and that the game and the year he's having has been phenomenal. And it's interesting to see a player come in at his age and do and accomplish what he's accomplished in this short period of time.
Holland comes set, a check of Ionetta at first. And the pitch to Trout is inside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, the other thing about him, he's very disciplined as a hitter. You don't see a lot of swings and misses. He puts the ball in play, and he has a short stroke. And so there's an awful lot of things that you like about him.
He's got that youthful exuberance, too, that he really enjoys playing the game. Up the middle. Oh, Gary Holland. Hello.
Look at that play.
And he gets it. Nolan, thank you very much for joining us.
Nolan.
Congratulations on the changes. Best of luck to you.
All right, thanks.
Side retired. 2.5 have gone by here in Arlington. Rangers nothing, Angels nothing on Fox Sports Southwest.
into the bottom of the third with the trade deadline coinciding with the Rangers' offensive slump. There was some thought that the Rangers might trade for a bat, but count David Murphy as one that is glad that the front office showed faith in the guys that are here.
If they would have made a move offensively, it would have been more of a formality type thing, because we're more than capable with the guys that we have here to get it done offensively. Have the results shown that? I guess yes and no at times during the season, and maybe more consistently no as of late. But that doesn't mean that we're down on ourselves, we're down on each other. We know what we're capable of, and we're going to continue to work hard to be that strong offensive unit that we've always been.
Buzz and Tom, David Murphy also added, as we listened to our Geico quote, that those kind of moves at the trade deadline always speak volumes about the front office's confidence.
Well, Murphy giving one a ride to left center field, but Mike Trout able to run her down right at the padding. Boy, Murphy's really swinging the bat well and almost got that one out of here. But that is a long out number one.
Trout was either playing way over in left center, playing deep, or just plain outran it. Off the bat, it wasn't really a high fly ball. The line drive was going to short hop the wall. He caught it easily. He was playing a little deeper than normal.
Yeah, and Trout, we've noticed, and you pointed out, Tom, out in Anaheim, the first time I heard that was how deep he plays in left field, and it looks like he does the same thing in center field.
I wasn't watching when David was up there, but now looking out there, he's probably a little deeper than probably the normal center fielder plays.
Well, here's Mike Napoli. Knapp with a home run last night. His last 5 hits, as a matter of fact, have been home runs. Got a 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, and he has gone crazy again against his former team. Weaver to the wind, the 1-1 pitch. And that's outside. Napoli this year hitting .438. You mentioned the last 5 hits have been home runs, and against the Angels, .438 this year. That's in 10 ball games with 6 RBI in those 10 games.
Buzz, want to say hi to Libby Serber. She's 6 years old. She's a big Ranger fan. She had serious surgery back in April. We've got a lot of people up in our booth that participated in a fundraiser for her. So Libby, I'm not sure if you're watching tonight, but if you are, you have a lot of people thinking about you, and a lot of nice people up here in our booth that are doing more than their fair share as well. Also want to have a big shout out to Ewell Burton, World War II vet. He's 91 years old, watches every game. Ewell, thanks for that. Eldon Bilton, 91 years old today.
Napoli swings, lofts one to left center field. And Trout will run this down in the alley. That is out number 2. Now let's head back to our Fox Sports Southwest studios now for a game break. Here's Rick Renner. Rick?
And the first baseman, number 18, Mitch Moreland.
All right, Rick, thank you. Well, Chris Davis has had some huge games of late.
One more birthday. Sister Frances Evans, one of our all-time favorite friends, one of the greatest Ranger fans ever. She's 86 years old today. Ranger fans going way back to the old ballpark. We remember Sister Maggie and Sister Frances, regulars at the ball game. I can remember sitting next to them in Yankee Stadium back when the Rangers first got into the playoffs. Their eyes were opened a little bit that day sitting in Yankee Stadium. They heard some things they normally wouldn't hear. But Sister Frances, hope you're watching, and might be out at the ballpark for all I know. But if you're watching, happy birthday.
Yeah. Mitch Moreland to the plate. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Mitch has had good success against the Angels, and Weaver pulling the string, gets a swinging strike. It's 2-1.
A little later on in the game, Jim Knox is going to speak to Sister Frances. Let's stay tuned for that.
Back to the plate is Weaver. The slow breaking ball that just hangs high and outside. And So Mitch the advantage in the count now, 3-1. Rangers have not had a base runner yet. Only one base runner in the game, and that was on a walk to the number 9 man by Derek Holland. The 3-1 to Moreland.
Have some great Ranger fans from Abilene, Texas here tonight. Aaron and Diane Kaufman. In fact, they sent me a nice article. They had a Ranger-themed wedding in Abilene at the ballpark. All the people that attended the wedding had Ranger gear on. They're here tonight on their honeymoon. So congratulations, Aaron and Diane. I don't have to tell you about being a Ranger fan.
Payoff pitch, and Moreland gets one off the end of the bat out to Howie Kendrick. That'll do it for the Rangers. 9 up and 9 down for Jared Weaver and the Angels. We finished 3 innings. It's still the Angels nothing, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Derek Holland not allowed to hit, a couple of strikeouts, just 36 pitches to retire 9 of the 10 that he has faced. One walk in there. Weaver, meanwhile, has retired all 9 batters that he has faced. So very much living up to the pitcher's duel moniker that folks had on this game before it started. Torrey Hunter starts things off, and Derek Holland drops a slow breaking ball in for strike 1.
That's one thing he was doing against the Red Sox in his last start, throwing his curveball for strikes. He threw that fastball pretty close to a strike. Popped that one in there at 94 miles an hour.
Hunter, a fly ball to right, his first time to the plate. 1-1 pitch, and that breaking ball is a little bit low in the dirt. It's 2-1. Hunter, who lives out north of Dallas in the offseason, was after the next pitch, and right there is Elvis Andrus to gobble up that ground ball. One gone. Let's go to Jim Knox again. Jim?
All right, Buzz, with Casey Rapp. He's with Sports Service here, food and beverage department here at Ranger Ballpark, and something big unveiled yesterday in honor of the boomsticks right here. What was that, Casey?
Yeah, how do you top a 1 foot, 2 pound hot dog, but putting an 18-foot hot dog on the field? You and I rode around on it. It's got chili, it's got cheese, it's got jalapenos. It's pretty huge, isn't it?
It was great. One of the all-time best in my career. I knew I was in trouble, guys, when I headed down the home stretch and saw Dana. All she did was laugh. Dana Larson down in the dugout. I turned my back when we were going by the players, but it was quite the ride, and maybe in the future some of the other Ranger fans can ride in that as well, right?
Yeah, so what we're looking at is maybe the first 10 to 20 fans that purchase one in the game, we'll put it in a hat, draw it out, and they'll get to ride on the boomstick on the field before the game as well.
There we go. Thank you, Casey, and thanks for the ride this evening. Appreciate it. But
all right, Jim.
Derek continues to pop that fastball. That last one to Pujols, 95 miles an hour.
And now Holland up in the count, 0-2 to Pujols. Goes after this one. It's a high drive to left field. That sends Murphy back. Murphy is at the wall. That ball's gone. Now that fastball didn't get in where Holland wanted it, and Albert Pujols made him pay for it. His 19th home run of the year, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that was not where Derek was trying to throw the 0-2 pitch. Trying to make it sink down in a way, it looked like, and wasn't necessarily a strike. It was in the middle of the plate, slightly out of the strike zone, but Pujols with a 2-strike approach made some solid contact and rode it right out of the ballpark.
So, as was the case last night, a solo home run gets the Angels on the board first, and they lead 1-0 now. One out in the top of the fourth inning. Mark Trumbo, who grounded out to short his first time to the plate, steps in there, and Holland misses low and outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. And the Angels, big 3 in that order with Trout, Trumbo, and Pujols all having a month of July that has been outstanding. And now Holland falling behind 3-0 to Trumbo. Trumbo hitting in the number 4 slot. If he gets aboard, he'll be on base for Howie Kendrick. Derek to the wind, the 3-0 pitch. That's way inside, ball 4. Well, Trumbo draws the 1-out walk. He is aboard with Howie Kendrick coming up. Well, folks, to celebrate 40 years of baseball in the Metroplex, Metro PCS is giving away 40 Samsung 4G LTE phones. Enter to win at all participating locations. Metro PCS, it's wireless for all. Holland walks his second man as Trumbo reaches. Howie Kendrick now, who went down swinging his first time, will step to the plate. And Holland throws a knee-high strike. Howie Kendrick handles the bat well. You never want to put out of your mind the possibility that he might try a hit and run, although with Trumbo aboard nursing what has been a sore back, he may not do it. Off the glove of Holland, right to Kinsler at the bag at second, and it turns into a 1-4-3 double play. There you go. Holland, a perfect deflection to Kinsler, and the twin killing sends the Angels back into the field. So a run on 1 hit, nobody left after 3.5. The Angels won, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. The AT Trivia question tonight. Back on July 31st of 2002, Rangers in a 17-6 win tied a record as they had 6 doubles against the Yankees in the second inning. And we're asking you, who was the pitcher that allowed all 6 of those 2-baggers? Ian Kinsler starting things off and goes after the first pitch from Jared Weaver. A little pop-up. Pujols moving over, makes a fine over-the-shoulder catch. And Kinsler is retired. Boy, Pujols running out of room in a hurry, but his focus, his concentration allowed him to make that grab just before he ran up against the seats.
He goes back to the ball. There's a look at the concentration. Look at that. That's a great shot. Nice play. Took a look so he knew exactly where he was. Caught it right before he got to the wall.
The one gone. Here's Elvis Andrus, who lined out to left field back in the first inning. Elvis, a couple of home runs, 39 RBI for the Rangers shortstop. Weaver's 1-0 pitch, and that's right down through there. Elvis took an 0 for 4 last night, and his homestand has seen him slump a bit. He's just 5 for 25, a 200 mark. Weaver back to him, and the off-speed pitch stays high. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Elvis in the last 4 ball games, as you will note, 1 for 15. Although against the Angels, he's a career .329 hitter, not just this year. I mean, he's really gone to town against Angel pitching. And he's ahead in the count now to Weaver, 3 balls and 1 strike. And Weaver has really seemed intent on throwing a lot of fastballs inside to Elvis.
They're trying to figure out another pattern that might have some success.
Yeah.
Last time we faced Weaver, he actually pitched around Elvis with Josh on deck.
Yeah. 3-1 pitch, a chopper to third right there, Callaspo. And Elvis retired. There are 2 away for Adrian Beltre.
We want to thank everybody that has sent goodies to us. There's a little bit of a look at it. If you want to hear more about it, hear all the names and get a better description of it, you can go to the FoxSportsSouthwest.com website and click on Tom's Treats. A little bit of a look at what we had tonight, and you can hear all about it and see it on the Fox Sports Southwest website.
Adrian Beltre at the plate. Adrian, the ground ball to short, back in the first inning. He swings, and it's a towering pop-up to shallow left field. Callaspo and Esteuras. It's a shortstop, Esteuras, to make the grab. And that will do it. The Rangers, again, gone in order. Weaver is perfect through 4. And we'll go to the 5th inning with the Angels leading the Rangers 1-0 on Fox Sports Southwest. You remember tonight that 10 years ago on this date, the Rangers in a 17-6 win over the Yankees tied a record with 6 doubles in the second inning. And who was the pitcher that allowed all 6 of those doubles? How about Mike Mussina? He's the second pitcher in Major League history to allow 6 doubles in an inning. I would hope that most guys wouldn't be left in that long, but it's what you get for having the reputation of Mike Mussina, who can turn things around and pitch well for you anytime.
Well, he did that against the Rangers, too. He turned that outing around a few times. Mac probably saw that, too, a couple of times.
He did.
Alberto Callaspo, fly ball to left field. Easy play for David Murphy, who centers himself under it, puts it away. 1 gone. And again, we welcome in Mark McElroy. Mac, thanks always for joining us. Pretty good pitching matchup tonight. One mistake by Holland that got hit anyway, and it's kind of living up to what we'd hoped would happen tonight.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure that fans really like a 1-0 ball game. I know I didn't when I played, unless we had the 1 run and I had the 1 hit.
Right.
But no, it's been a great matchup. Both pitchers are on. They've got their A games, and it's very interesting. I do like seeing it now because there's a lot more that really goes on when you've got a pitching duel that's happening.
With the numbers that a lot of the Ranger hitters have against the Angels in their careers, you would think this would have been just exactly what the doctor ordered for a Ranger club that was struggling offensively. But now they come in and you still haven't quite figured things out well enough to be consistent from one night to the next.
Well, you're right, but you know how it is. Just because you have numbers against a certain guy or a certain team doesn't mean it's going to be that way every time you face him. And that's definitely the case tonight. I mean, a lot of guys have some really good numbers against Weaver and against the Angels in general. But it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do that every time you face them.
It's kind of like those stats being a mural, and you're looking at a snapshot when you have one game. You don't hit that whole thing. Vernon Wells, a fly ball to left field. This one also playable. David Murphy, a busy man out there, puts it away. 4 out, number 2. And Mysur Asturis who will come up. A lot of things happened in the last 18 hours or so for the Rangers, huh?
Yes, the magician was at work again. Tremendous, being able to get Ryan Dempster and Giovanni Soto, 2 very, very good players that can help any ball club, and especially this Rangers ball club right now, and not really having to give up those top prospects that everybody wanted.
Yeah, Tom was talking about that a little while earlier about we had Nolan on, and you didn't have to give up a whole lot. Yeah, you hate to give up players that are high on your prospect list anyway, but it wasn't the top 5 or 6 in your organization. Well, that'll do it. An easy, quick 1-2-3 inning for Derek Holland. Angels gone. We're played half the ball game, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead over the Rangers on Fox Sports Southwest. looking at it right there in center field at Rangers Ballpark. Provides an unparalleled view from the lower level. This modern venue serves as a party suite for over 100 guests, and individual all-inclusive tickets are available for some games starting at only $100. Visit TexasRangers.com/batterseye for details. Great place to watch a game out there. That was just about where Nelly Cruz tried to take a ball through the Batter's Eye Club last night. Didn't quite get there, but came close. He'll try it again here as he leads off the bottom of the 5th inning. And a swing and a pop foul will reach the seats behind home plate. Cruz a ground ball to short the first time that he faced Weaver this evening. Weaver has been perfect through 4 innings. 12 straight batters retired by the Angel right-hander. His 46th pitch of the night. And he jams Cruz again and is fouled straight back. 0-2.
Well, I'm going to say it. I know, you normally don't want to say this in a game like this, but man, this game sure is flying by.
Oh, Mac.
Hey, we're hitting, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're hitting, aren't we?
That's right. Sure.
That's the time to do it.
They're swinging a foul back. That's okay. You can do that. That's
only when
okay.
we're hitting.
All right.
Weaver's one guy. I don't know that his fastball is touch 90 or even 89 for that matter, but you never know it by the swings that the hitters take against him.
And Cruz gone on strikes as Weaver. It's just his 2nd strikeout of the night, but that's his 13th consecutive batter retired. Let's go back to our Fox Sports Southwest studios for a Mazda CX-5 game break. Here's Rick Renner. Rick. Very interesting, Rick. Beckett, the trade speculation surrounding him in the last 24 hours really picked up, but no deal got done prior to the deadline. Pitch way inside to Hamilton. It's 1-1.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many teams were knocking on the Red Sox door wanting to give up a lot to get him either.
Yeah, he seems like the way he is pitching and the problems he's had. There's a line drive snared by Howie Kendrick, the second baseman. He goes to a knee. With what's happened to him, all the controversy that he seemed to have been in the middle of with that Boston club, you better be about 12-0 or so, or 13-1 like Weaver is if you want to have people get interested in you.
Yeah, he's carrying a little bit of baggage and he wasn't pitching that well.
Yeah.
And he's got a big contract. That doesn't add up to a lot of suitors.
There's Michael Young. Michael, a ground ball to short. His first time to the plate. It'll be out of play down the right field line. Mac, you see a guy like Weaver, and I know you face people like him. A guy that doesn't throw that hard, but there has to be an awful lot of deception to a big, lanky guy like that.
Well, that you just said it right there. His arms and legs, all of that action there is a distraction. He hides the ball extremely well. Then you see a lot of arms and legs coming at you. Then all of a sudden, here comes the ball. He doesn't have to throw 95 in order to be deceptive. And I don't think there's anything that he throws that's straight. So you put all those things together, and it makes for a very, very tough at bat.
2-1 pitch to Young, and that's off speed and outside. 3-1.
It's a really tough at bat for right-handers because he steps across, comes across his body, and so he hides it even longer for a right-hander.
Yeah, every time I watch him throw, my back starts hurting me. I'm surprised his hasn't blown out already, but he has that kind of body. I guess he could do whatever he wants, and it's not going to be a problem. This gives you a pretty good look at what the hitter sees from his perspective. 3-2 to Michael now.
He kind of steps almost behind the right-handed hitter, and then he still comes around. So it's a lot like not quite as drastic as Randy Johnson facing left-handers.
Yeah, I remember John Kruk trying to hit Randy Johnson in that All-Star game, boy. He almost told the manager, hey, why don't you forget it? I really don't want to hit that bad.
Payoff pitch to Young. And Michael pops one up down the right field line, and long run for Hunter. And that ball will slice into the second row and out of play. Johnson threw the first pitch behind him or something?
Yeah.
And John Crooks, no, that's enough.
About 97, 98, yeah.
Didn't have any idea it was behind him until it hit the backstop. Michael trying to get aboard here to become the first Ranger base runner of the night. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning, a 1-0 LA lead. Weaver again with a 3-2. And that's lined down the right field line, but this one is slicing and going foul. Now Michael getting closer. That was within a couple of feet of the chalk. And he'll come back and try another 3-2 pitch. Payoff again. Line drive right field. This is going to fall for a base hit. So Michael got one in play, and he becomes the first Ranger base runner of the night.
They were talking about Josh last night getting 3 hits to left field, waiting on the ball. And even though he hasn't had a hit tonight, he's had better at bats. And the same thing for Michael. When you see Michael hit a ball like this, and you see the foul ball going the other way as well, that's a good sign too. That's Michael's strength, waiting on the ball and hitting it to right field.
It looked like Weaver hung him a slider there on 3-2, but you're not going to try and pinpoint 1-3-2 with the slider. So Michael aboard, and now David Murphy, who sent Mike Trout, the center fielder, all the way to the padding in deepest left center his last time up. Ball 1.
He really looks like he's throwing a lot harder than he actually is. It's just all that movement can be very, very deceptive.
You watch the ball and the hitter react to it, and then you look up at the scoreboard and see 87, and you go, whoa, thought it was like 93.
Reminds me of Kevin Appier. He was the same way.
Yep, same kind of big motion, arms and legs going every which way.
He was that guy called maximum effort guy.
Right. 2-0 to Murphy. Belt high strike. With the big leaders and the opponent batting average, Verlander right at 200 and Weaver a tick behind him.
Definitely trying to keep the ball away from David.
That ball way up. And it's 3 balls and a strike. Murphy trying to extend the inning. He has Michael Young at first, and Murph's able to get aboard. Mike Napoli will have a shot at Weaver here in the 5th inning. The 3-1 on the way. Ground ball hit up the middle slowly. And Kendrick able to turn, and a nice pick by Albert Pujols. So the side retired, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Mac, thanks for joining us. We will catch up with you after the ball game on Rangers Live.
See you later.
All right.
You're talking about it earlier. What a night for Sister Francis, 86 years young tonight. You got a standing ovation when they put you on the Jumbotron a couple of innings ago. That had to feel good, Sister.
It was awesome. I mean, it was really touched my heart.
You've been a Ranger fan for 40 years. You've been hitting the drum since 2003. We brought you a new drumstick tonight, and hope you can use this for another 40 years, maybe.
Well, I don't think so. I don't want to ruin my drum. I take good care of the drum.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations and happy birthday.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
God bless you. Thank you.
God bless the Rangers.
Yes, let's get some runs tonight.
We need some runs.
Buzz.
All right, Jim. Oh, goodness.
Sister Francis might have a little bit of a hard time picking up that present from Jim Knox. Not quite as strong as she used to be.
Ionetta at the plate, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 1-2 now to the Angel catcher. Ionetta walked his first time up. He was the first base runner of the game back in the third inning. Holland back to him. And just getting a piece of it. Ionetta stays alive. Eric Holland about ready to throw his 62nd pitch of the night. So very economical for the left-hander here this evening.
Yep, both pitchers in the same position, really.
Holland again with a 1-2. And that will even the count. Ionetta back in the lineup. He was on the disabled list. He had a fractured right wrist that happened back in May, early part of May. He missed 67 ball games, and he was brought in to be the #1 catcher for the Angels in the offseason. And that injury kind of derailed things. Although he did catch Jared Weaver's no-hitter one of the last games that he played before he messed that wrist up. That was back on May 2nd. Matter of fact, that was the day of Weaver's no-hitter that he broke his wrist. He's run the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes now as he's leading off the top of the 6th inning. A 1-0 Angel lead.
Derek walked him with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. You definitely don't want to walk him now with nobody out leading off the 6th inning.
Payoff pitch is high, ball 4. And Derek Holland twice now has walked Chris Ionetta. Hey, Ranger fans, meet Rangers pitcher Michael Kirkman on Thursday and sign up to be a Whataburger What-A-Fan. Don't miss this chance to win great prizes and to meet one of your Texas Rangers at Whataburger over on Cockrell Hill in Dallas on Thursday. The 1-on, nobody out, back to the top of the Angels order. Mike Trout is 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a ground ball back to Holland, and he looks at a slow breaking ball that's just a bit low for ball 1. Trout, tremendous numbers. You look at the rookies in the American League. First of all, it's hard to believe he is a rookie because of, like Nolan Ryan said, and how he plays the game. He just does things that you don't normally see rookies do. Pitch very high from Holland, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. He is among American League rookies first in average, runs, doubles, triples, home runs, on base percentage, slugging, and stolen bases. And he's all the way down to 2nd in RBIs. I think that's what they call putting your stamp on things in your first go around to the big league level. 2-0 pitch to him, and that's inside. 3 balls and no strikes. And now Mike Napoli going to go out and have a talk with Derek Holland, who's let it slip away a bit here in the 6th inning. A walk to Chris Ionetta after he'd gotten ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes, and now he's fallen behind 3-0 to Mike Trout. Now let's take a look at the Brown Hand Center. Great hands of the game. How about Derek Holland? And you talk about quick hands, able to do that, and another one with a deflection. Over to Ian Kinsler that turned into a double play. Those are great hands. 3-0 pitch, and that's right down the middle. 3-1.
And most leadoff hitters in this situation, you'd say, okay, I got to throw him a strike. I don't want to walk him. But Trout's a leadoff hitter, but he could be hitting third or fourth. And he's got power, so you don't feel comfortable just laying a pitch in there for a strike for the sake of throwing a strike.
And there's exactly why. That ball is pounded to left center field and gone. Out into the Angel bullpen, and Mike Trout with a 2-run home run makes it a 3-0 game.
Well, you get behind, and you have to come in with a fastball. You lay it in there like that, and then that's what can happen. That's why pitching coaches, announcers, everybody always says, get ahead, get ahead. You get behind, you put a hitter in a better count, you let them look for a pitch. You don't want to walk 2 batters in a row with the middle of the lineup coming up. He throws him a strike, but it's pretty much right in the center square. And Trout, with great power, took advantage of it.
Well, Mike Trout with his 18th home run of the year. He now has driven in 55. And the Angels have a 3-0 lead with still nobody out here in the 6th inning. Torrey Hunter to the plate, and he takes strike one. Hunter 0 for 2 tonight. A fly ball to right and a ground ball to short.
Well, Derek's been plagued by the home run ball. That's 18 home runs in just a little over 100 innings. He's given up 2 home runs in each of his last 3 starts now.
Boy, Mike Trout has been feasting on Ranger pitching all season long. Breaking ball, Hunter able to check his swing. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Trout's hitting 350, so he's been hitting everybody. The at bat that you'd like to go back and start over was Iannetta. Ionetta's batting 9th. He's hitting 203, leading off the inning. That's the walk that really hurt Derek.
2-2 now as Torrey Hunter has to skip rope to get out of the way of that Holland offering. And Derek trying to settle back down, get the Rangers through this 6th inning. And he gets the strikeout as he went upstairs, and Torrey Hunter couldn't reach it. 1 away for Albert Pujols.
First baseman Albert Pujols.
For Holland, his 3rd strikeout of the night. Pujols stepping in, 1 out of 2. It is 19th home run of the year in the 4th inning. And that off-speed pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. The numbers now 19 and 66 runs driven in for the big Angel first baseman. And that's going to be home run number 20. This ballpark will not hold that. It is gone way back into the lower section of seats toward the Diamond Club. And Albert Pujols with his 2nd home run of the night. It's now 4-0 Angels. Pujols almost an identical pitch from the one he hit out his last time up against Holland.
He's got a quick bat, boys. Short, quick stroke.
So 3 home runs in the ball game, and Mark Trumbull is trying to make it 4 with that swing. It's 0-1. For Pujols now, 12 home runs in his last 47 games. Pitch outside to Trumbo. Trumbo 0 for 1 tonight. A ground ball to short and a walk against Derek Holland. 4 runs on 3 hits for the Angels. All 3 of the hits have left the yard. It's a ball and 2 strikes. And Tanner Shepard's the right-hander, up and throwing in the Ranger bullpen. Holland back to the plate. It's 2-2. Derek now up over the 20 pitch mark in this inning. And that, that doesn't seem like much, but on a night like this, and it's still 99 degrees, it just ticked down to 99 degrees. Takes a lot out of you to get into a ball game and have a very long inning. There's the strikeout. Holland with his 4th of the night. There are 2 gone for Howie Kendrick. Folks, we'd like to invite you to join us at On the Border for dinner every Wednesday night, now until August the 8th. Enter to win free Rangers tickets. Visit iloveontheborder.com for more details. Kendrick, a strikeout and a double play grounder. 0-1. Holland back to the plate, and Kendrick fights it off down the right side and well back into the seats. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Kendrick 2 for 5 in last night's ball game, and you go back to the end of May. That 299 average is second best among second basemen. There's the first single of the night against Holland. A 2-out base hit by Kendrick into left field. And Alberto Callaspo now will get a shot here in the 6th inning. So 4 hits for the Angels. They lead 4-0. And Callaspo to the plate. He is 0 for 2. A ground ball and a fly ball. Callaspo now in an 0 for 17 stretch. And Holland will go first base way to drive Howie Kendrick back. Ball 1 sails outside to Alberto Callaspo, switch hitter up there from the right side.
They're not throwing the ball where he wants to now like he was early in the game. Early in the game, strikeouts, strikes to balls were at least 2-1, a little bit higher.
And that should end the inning as Kinsler knocks it down, recovers in time to throw out Callaspo. Side to retire, but a couple of solo, or I should say 1 solo home run and a 2-run shot with 3 on the board for the Angels. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 4-0. Angels over the Rangers on Fox Sports Southwest. The Sonic Slam Inning brought to you by Sonic. Tonight, the jackpot is worth $700 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Matt Johnson from Euless. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Matt Johnson from Euless will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Mike Napoli to start off, and the first pitch from Jared Weaver is inside for ball one. It'll be Napoli, Moreland, and Kinsler. Angels with 3 home runs tonight off of Derek Holland, lead 4-0. And a check swing by Napoli. It's a strike anyway. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Weaver, the way Weaver's throwing, he's a tough guy to score a lot of runs against. He doesn't walk many. He doesn't give up home runs. And he's very tough to hit. Opponent's batting average, .201. Even though he hasn't pitched well all the time in the past in this ballpark, he's pitching well and throwing the ball well tonight.
The Rangers have just 1 hit against him, and that was a 2-out single in the 5th inning by Michael Young. Weaver's 1-2 pitch drops down a little bit sidearm, and the ball is low for a 2-2 count. Remember that ball game in Anaheim on that Friday night 2 weeks ago against the Rangers. Weaver did that to Napoli, and Napoli hit it right back through the middle. So he saw him drop down. He knew what it was going to be, knew where it was going to be, and just smoked it right back through the box. Now the count goes full to Napoli, so Mike trying to get aboard to start off the Rangers' 6th inning. Mitch Moreland, the Ranger first baseman, will be next. Weaver to the wind, the payoff pitch. Napoli a towering foul ball out of play. And we'll come back and try it again at 3-2. Weaver back to Napoli. Way up and in. Look out, Mike. Well, that's dangerous on a 3-2 pitch. That's the last thing a hitter's thinking about. And sometimes you don't react very well to a pitch up and in. That ball got away from Weaver. And Napoli down to first with a leadoff walk.
Yeah, that's up in the danger zone right there.
You see how long it took Mike Napoli to react in comparison.
It's amazing that a person can get out of the way of a pitch that, what's it take a pitch to get to home plate?
About 4/10 of a second.
4/10 of a second. So you have to identify where the pitch is first. That's got to take you at least a 1/10 or 2. And then you have to move your body out of the way, and somewhere around a 1/10 or 2/10 of a second.
As Moreland takes a strike.
That's one thing that separates some hitters at different stages of their life. Sometimes it's little league, sometimes it's high school, sometimes it's college. If you have fear at the plate, then you pretty much aren't going to be a big league hitter.
Yeah. Moreland a shot right back through the middle.
There's one for you to catch.
Low bridge.
I'd like to put a radar gun on that one. That's about as hard as you can hit a line drive right there. That ball went back at about 110 miles an hour.
Yeah, that it's one thing to get out of the way of a ball that you are kind of expecting coming your direction as a hitter. It's another thing when you throw a ball and it comes back twice as fast as you threw it, and you try to get out of the way.
That was a rocket.
That is the kind that you'll wake up in the middle of. It won't bother Weaver too much right now, but about 3 o'clock in the morning, you wake up sweating, reliving that thing. Well, Mitch with the second Ranger hit of the night. And Weaver trying to breathe a couple of sighs of relief, but he can't quite get there. There you go. He finally got it out. He was holding his breath until then. 2 on, nobody out. Top of the Ranger order now for Ian Kinsler. Kins 0 for 2, a strikeout and a foul out. And he takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Napoli and Moreland leading off from second and first, respectively. And it's popped up. Infield fly rule will be in effect as Pujols takes care of it on the outfield grass by about 15 feet. That is out number 1. And Elvis Andrus now coming to the plate. Now it's time for the AT Reverse Replay. This was out in Anaheim last time these two pitchers met, and Elvis Andrus in the first inning. Nobody on, and said see you later to Jared Weaver's fastball. Boy, Elvis, one of the few guys around that would be inclined to send a limo to the team hotel to make sure Weaver made it to the ballpark okay. He hits him that well. But he's 0 for 2 tonight, although he lined sharply to left field the first time. And takes strike 1. Rangers last night broke out of that 0 for 29 with runners in scoring position. Made it 1 for 30 with that first hit that they had last night in that situation. Way inside, almost got him. A ball and a strike to Andrus. The Rangers trying to put something together. Alexio Gondo beginning to loosen in the Ranger bullpen. Bottom of the 6th inning, 2 on, 1 out. A 1 ball, 1 strike count to Elvis Andrus, and Weaver's ready. A breaking ball, and that's swung on a miss for strike 2. Elvis checking with home plate umpire Jim Reynolds, make sure that was a strike. And now Chris Iannetta going to go out and have a chat with Jared Weaver. Let's see where that last pitch, that number 3 was, that breaking ball that was down. I'm sure this is something that Weaver and Iannetta had gone over, how they were going to work to Andrus if he came up in a game situation, a situation where a base hit could be meaningful as far as the score is concerned. And Iannetta just wanted to go out and make sure that the thinking hadn't changed on what they wanted to do. The 1-2. That's out of play to the right. And then the thought pattern going in Elvis's head. Throwing me a lot of fastballs inside tonight. But he's gotten me to swing at a couple of breaking balls. So what do I do here? And now Weaver wants Iannetta to come out again. Got to remember now, these two guys have not worked together since back on May the 2nd when Weaver threw a no-hitter against Minnesota and Iannetta was catching him. And Mike Butcher going to go out and join in the conversation. So the progression as you go on through the ball game, not something that Iannetta is used to dealing with Weaver, especially when he's throwing well. Well, folks, it's MLB on Fox season. Fox Sports is proud to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. Weaver with the 1-2. Breaking ball hit slowly. Cut off by the third baseman Callaspo to second. That's all they'll get as Moreland makes sure that Howie Kendrick can't get a throw off. So the fielder's choice erases Mitch Moreland. Napoli goes to third. Elvis at first with 2 away, and Adrian Beltre coming up.
That wasn't a very hard hit ball. Kendrick didn't really have time to turn a double play with Elvis running. But fortunately for Kendrick, he had time to get out of the way of Mitch Moreland, who was barreling into him, make sure that he couldn't turn a double play.
That's a lot of human being coming there to second base in a hurry.
He had time to get there, too.
Throw to first, and Elvis is back. So runners at first and third, 2 outs now. Adrian Beltre, 0 for 2, a ground ball and a pop out. And he takes a fastball, strike 1. Adrian in the middle of an 8-game RBI drought. And he would love to erase that drought right here. Beltre also just 3 for his last 24 with runners in scoring position. 0-1 as Weaver sets. Off the end of the bat, easy play for Howie Kendrick. On to first, and that'll do it. Well, the Rangers can't do anything with a walk and a hit. They strand 2. We finished 6. It's the Angels 4, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Southwest is brought to you by Geico Insurance. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway MPG. A near full moon visible over the left field stands here at the Rangers ballpark. 4-0 Los Angeles. We head to the top of the 7th inning. It'll be the bottom third of the Angel order. Vernon Wells to start things off. Wells to be followed by Isturis and Iannetta. A swinging strike 2 by Vernon Wells. Wells tonight has flied out twice. Although his last time up, he skied to left field and just missed really putting a charge into it. Hit way up in the air and set David Murphy back to near the warning track. Holland back to him. And the pitch, call strike 3. A changeup, it looked like. At least he pulled the string on whatever it was. And that is the 5th strikeout for Derek Holland tonight.
A lot of Derek's strikeouts have come after getting ahead with his fastball and then 0-2 or ahead in the count, throwing some type of an off-speed pitch to get the strikeout. The key tonight has been a couple of pitches near the middle of the plate that have been hit out of the ballpark.
Boy, Mycer Isturis just smokes one right back through the middle for a base hit. Well, Isturis with his first hit of the evening. He is aboard with 1 out. And Chris Iannetta coming up. Right-hander Tanner Shepard's up and throwing again this inning. He was up in the 6th, just in case. And he is back up throwing in earnest, it looks like, out there now. Holland just passed the 90 pitch plateau. He's at 91. Iannetta steps in, having walked both times that he's faced Holland tonight. Holland, of course, with the excellent pickoff move. The Angels, even though they're leading 4-0, that is not the time when they shut their running game down. Holland again a throw to first, and again the dive back by Isturis.
Isturis is 13 out of 14 stealing bases. Trout 31 out of 34. Hard to find anything he's not doing well.
0-1 to Iannetta. Yeah, you are right about that. Mike Trout in the on-deck circle. Holland ready to check a first. And he will go that way one more time. You get an idea of the team stolen bases. The Angels second to Tampa Bay in that. Rangers had been up among the league leaders, but they've kind of shut the running game down. Their offense has been a little bit stagnant. Fly ball to the left coming on David Murphy. Plenty of time to get there. And Murph puts it away for out number 2. And that will bring up Mike Trout. Well, let's take a look at tomorrow's starters, brought to you by Chevron. And it will be Garrett Richards filling in. Dan Herron was originally supposed to pitch tomorrow, and he got the scratch because of a bad back. Yu Darvish, looking for his 12th win, will be on the hill for the Rangers. 7:05 first pitch right here at Rangers Ballpark. The third game of this 4-game series. 2 outs. Estura still at first, and Trout takes the fastball outside for ball 1. Mike Trout last time up got ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike, and drilled a fastball from Derek Holland to the back of the bullpen in left center field. 2-run home run, his 18th of the year. Holland's 1-0 pitch to him. Trout taking his time getting back in the box. 20-year-old outfielder came up just short of using up his rookie qualification last year. He's a full-fledged rookie this year and takes inside 3-0. And Derek Holland kind of repeating the pattern that got him in trouble last time that he faced Trout. You see Derek shaking his head a little bit as he ponders his next delivery. And ball 4 is inside, and that puts Estura at second now. Trout at first, 2 outs, and Torrey Hunter will come to the plate. And Ron Washington on his way to the mound. That will signal the end of the night for Derek Holland. 97 pitches, 60 of them strikes. As Derek will go 6 2/3 innings this evening. He'll be relieved by Tanner Scheppers. Holland leaving the game with a couple of runners aboard, 4 runs across. And Tanner Scheppers coming on. We will take a short timeout. Be right back to tell you about him on Fox Sports Southwest.
two-time All-Star who's having a very good year. That is about the extent of what many of the Rangers players said they know about one of their newest teammates, Ryan Dempster. But Michael Young has a pretty good inside source who tells him Dempster is going to fit in quite well here.
One of my best friends in the game is Mark DeRosa, and he says nothing but great things about him as a teammate. So we're excited to have him. Another good arm to add, and we're ready to go for the last 2-3 months.
Another source tells us that Ryan Dempster does a pretty good Harry Carey impersonation, Buzz and Tom, and we all know that Derek Holland has cornered the market on that here in town. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any kind of a contest. Ian Kinsler has already said we got to shut that down now, guys.
I saw Ryan doing that during the game of the week, and he is pretty good.
Is he?
Yeah, very good.
If we want to set up a contest like that, but we might. You never know. Numbers on Tanner Scheppers. Tanner very quietly has been doing an outstanding job coming out of the bullpen now. 25-year-old right-hander from Mission Viejo, California. And a drive to center field. Hamilton going back. It's over his head. It's one hop against the wall. In to score is Sturris. Right behind him is Mike Trout. And Torrey Hunter with a 2-run double makes it a 6-0 Los Angeles lead. Both those runs will go on the ledger of Derek Holland and Tanner Scheppers.
Pitch came in at 97 miles an hour, but Torrey Hunter turned it around near the center of the plate, down and out over the plate, allowed him to get his arms extended. And one hop off the wall out there in deep right center field.
So Hunter drives in a couple. Now here's Albert Pujols, who has homered the last 2 times up. A big swing and a miss. Pujols with solo home runs in the 4th and 6th innings. And this is the 43rd multiple home run game that Pujols has had in his career. Now up to 20 for the season, 67 RBI. Up there with Hunter at second, and a count of 0-1 facing Tanner Scheppers. He gets blocked by Mike Napoli. That was in the 4th inning, a letter high fastball that Holland tried to get down and away, and it cut over the plate. And this one he's trying to get in, and that ball was intercepted by Pujols' bat before it ever got there. Scheppers in the 1-1 pitch. Off the end of the bat, a slow roller out to short. Elvis to Moreland, that will do it. But Torrey Hunter, a big 2-out double, drives in a pair. And the Angels put 2 more on the board. We're going to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's now the Angels 6, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Fox with 4 massive fights. UFC Fight Night on Fox, sponsored by Bud Light, is live from Los Angeles this Saturday at 7 p.m. Rangers come to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning now, trailing by 6. Jared Weaver blanking the Rangers on 2 hits thus far, and the first pitch to Nelly Cruz is off the plate inside for ball 1. Cruz, Hamilton, and Young, and the first 3 Rangers to battle Jared Weaver here in the 7th inning. Right-hander deals a strike, and that evens the count. Cruz a ground ball to short, and a strikeout this evening. Weaver's 1-1.
Rangers haven't had a lot to cheer about tonight, but last inning they had a walk and a single to start the 6th inning. Top of the order coming up, but couldn't move the runners around. Couldn't get anything off of Weaver after a pretty good start to the inning.
And Nelly Cruz now watching that pitch go by. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. So Cruz trying to begin the 7th by getting aboard. Josh Hamilton will follow here in the 7th. Weaver's 3-1 pitch. Pounded very high, very deep, and very foul. That's up there in Ian Kinsler territory. About 75 feet foul and 400 feet from home plate. Payoff pitch. Strike 3 call. All right, Nelly had started toward first base, and Jim Reynolds a delayed punch out, and Nelly Cruz couldn't believe it. And he is gone to start the 7th.
Center fielder, Josh Hamilton.
You see Iannetta where he sets up. Borderline pitch. Down and away. Haven't seen a hitter yet that would have agreed that that was a strike. Haven't seen a pitcher yet that wouldn't have said it was. So, you know, that's the dilemma. Then it's up to the umpire.
Yeah.
Umpire thought it was a strike. Perfect pitcher's pitch.
And Jim Reynolds settling back in, and Josh Hamilton drives one to right field. That's a base hit. Top spin line drive that got out there in a hurry, and Josh 1 out of 3 is aboard with 1 out for Michael Young. Now let's head back to our Fox Sports Southwest studios for a game break, and here's Rick Renner. Rick.
Well, you talk about a guy that benefited from a change of scenery. How about A.J. Burnett?
Wow.
Went out of the spotlight in New York to kind of anonymity in Pittsburgh. And one of the big reasons the Pirates are having the kind of season they have. Pirates are 58-44. They're 14 games over 500 right now. 3 games behind Cincinnati, but right there for wild card consideration.
Michael Young takes the pitch up and in. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, the Pirates and Atlanta tied for the 2 wild card spots. Martin Perez loosening in the Ranger bullpen. Michael Young had a high fastball, and he fouled that straight back. You know, with the addition of another wild card this year now, it's very, very interesting. You see that Pittsburgh and Atlanta, identical records. They are atop things, but L.A. only 3 games out of that. And St. Louis just 4 back.
Now the road to the World Series got a lot more difficult for the wild card team. With only 1 wild card team. Get in there.
And Michael Young, a shot past the diving Asturias to left field.
In the past, with only 1 wild card team, the wild card went right in to the regular playoff, 5-game playoff series against the best team in another division. Now the wild card teams have to meet each other in a 1-game playoff before you ever get to that next round. That's going to be a very, very exciting time of the year when you see those 2 wild card teams meet in each league. one game to stay in the playoffs.
Well, Michael Young with his second hit of the night. He's 2 for 3. Hamilton down to second base. Young at first. David Murphy to the plate. Murph 0 for 2, but he has hit the ball on the button a couple of times. And takes a knee-high strike. Kevin Jepson, the right-hander, up and throwing in the left center field bullpen for the Angels. Halos leading 6-0. Rangers trying to make some noise here in the 7th and cut into that deficit. Weaver missing badly outside to even the count, and a ball and a strike. Murphy, you can see that batting average at .290. He has just been on fire. His last 20 ball games, he's hit over 300. 304 to be exact. Slow breaking ball. That's pounded to right center field. Trout on his horse. He can't get there. Hamilton around third. He will score. Young right behind him. And Michael scores. It's a 6-2 Angel lead as David Murphy finally finds a gap and gets a couple of runs home.
I thought for a second Trout was going to run that ball down, and he almost did. First time up, David hit a ball leading off the third inning to left center field on a line, and Trout was shading that way a little bit, and he ran it down. You can see him shading to left center. Has a long way to run. Almost ran it down, but he couldn't get there. Rangers pick up a couple of runs.
David Murphy now with a double in his last 6 starts. At least one double in each of those last 6 starts. And Mike Scioscia on his way to the mound, and that's going to do it for Jared Weaver. Well, Weaver can't get out of the 7th inning. David Murphy drives him from the ball game with that 2-run double. David Murphy safe at second. That's safe and secure. New York Life. Kevin Jepson coming on, and Jared Weaver dejectedly heading back to the Angel dugout. And we'll take a short timeout before we come back on Fox Sports Southwest. AT 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Mobile. You get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and a whole lot more. Just text @BAT to 31826 or visit TexasRangers.com for details. Well, the Rangers on the board. They have chased Jared Weaver from the game, and the right-hander Kevin Jepson is on the mound now to take over. He will face Mike Napoli with David Murphy at second base. 1 out here in the 7th inning. And a sizzling fastball is high for ball one.
Jepson's got a good arm. His numbers for the season don't look that good, but he's been pitching a lot better. He's only given up 4 hits. He's had 11 scoreless appearances since he was recalled on July 5th. He's pitched well against the Rangers. He had 20 outings against the Rangers with a 153 earned run average. He's got a good fastball, mid-90s fastball, and been very tough on the Rangers and tough on the league since he was recalled early in July.
And his next pitch is tight. It is 2 balls and no strikes. Nat tonight, a walk and a fly ball to center field. Jepson, a big guy who just turned 28 years old. He goes 6'3", about 235 pounds. He was the Rangers' second round selection in the 2002 free agent draft. Yeah, Mike Napoli asked for time and backs out. Jepson, a product of the Anaheim, California area, close to the ballpark out there. 2-0 pitch. Way high and outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Alexi Ogando and Martin Perez. Ogando joining Perez, getting loose in that bullpen under the watchful eye of Andy Hawkins. Jepson set, a check of second. 3-0 pitch. That's a knee-high strike.
They need base runners now, but at the same time, if Mike Napoli, you've seen his fastball. You're going to get a fastball. Pick your spot. Don't be late.
Right-handers ready. Napoli waiting. 3-1 pitch. He rolled over on it. Now ball to third. Callaspo checks Murphy back to second and throws out Napoli. That's out number 2, and we'll bring up Mitch Moreland.
Get
a little over anxious for that one?
Yeah, it looked like he was a little bit out in front of it.
So Jepson now able to come back from a 3-0 count and get Napoli. Look at that last pitch.
He's definitely not going to be late. He's going to get out in front of the fastball. He just got a little bit ahead of himself. Maybe a pitch that Mike would be able to drive to right center field. Not a great pitch to pull.
Moreland 1 for 2 tonight. And that 98-mile-an-hour fastball is low for ball 1. We'll just see Mitch back in the lineup. He was 1 for 4 in his return from the disabled list after missing 31 games. Last night, his first outing. And he almost took Jared Weaver's head off last time up there in the 6th inning. Lines this one to left field in a hurry is Vernon Wells. A nice running catch by the veteran outfielder. But David Murphy able to come up with a 2-run double. The Rangers get on the board. They get 2 runs on 3 hits and leave 1. We'll go to the 8th. Angels 6, Rangers 2 on Fox Sports Southwest. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Ace Cash Express, earning your trust since 1968. And by Jack in the Box. Get the All-American Jack Combo, a no-nonsense burger, fries, and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax. Eighth inning has arrived. Rangers on the board, and Alexi Ogando in from the bullpen to take over on the hill. Ogando, the third pitcher used tonight, and there's the statistical outlook for Alexi this year. First hitter he faces, Mark Trumbo, on the pitch low and outside. Trumbo 0 for 2 tonight. And Ogando's fastball crackles over the outside corner. Alexi Ogando, the 28-year-old right-hander out of San Pedro in the Dominican Republic. And swing and a miss. Another good fastball. It's 1-2 to Trumbo. Been some talk about stretching Alexi out, moving him into the rotation, and that, at least for the time being, seemed to be put to rest today. Ron Washington was talking about what the plans are after the acquisition of Ryan Dempster. There's a swinging strike three, and Ogando strikes out Trumbo, the first man he faces. One away, and Howie Kendrick coming up.
Yeah, obviously the trade for Ryan Dempster puts him in the rotation, and the way Scott Feldman has been pitching, it's impossible to take him out of the rotation. He's throwing the ball as well as anybody right now, coming off 2 straight good starts to beat the Red Sox in 7 innings. Last game he pitched 8 innings and won a ball game.
Howie Kendrick shooting one the other way for a base hit. He's now 2 out of 4 as he greets Ogando. The first pitch that Kendrick saw from Ogando, and he smoked it to right for a single. A 1 on, 1 out. Alberto Callaspo now coming up. Yeah, you would think that with the revelation today that Neftali Feliz is going to have Tommy John surgery, that might have had a bearing on what the feeling was about Alexi Ogando trying to go into the rotation also. Probably the greater need to have him in the bullpen. Fastball strike to Callaspo.
The other guy in the bullpen, the Rangers, 2 of them really. Mark Lowe, who's on a rehab assignment right now. They've missed Mark, and Koji Uehara, who didn't have a lot of success last year for the Rangers, had a great deal of success with the Orioles, but he was throwing the ball well when he went on the disabled list. Thought we'd see him by now, but not making the progress everyone hoped for.
Mark Lowe had his second outing at Double-A Frisco last night, and I believe supposed to throw one more time. Mark's sitting out there in the Ranger bullpen. I think he's supposed to have one more outing. Maybe not. It's way outside, and Napoli just able to get a glove on it to keep it close. 2-1 the count to Callaspo. Callaspo, the switch here, turning around to bat from the left side against Ogando. Callaspo against Holland, 0 for 3 with a couple of groundouts. Slaps that one foul off the screen in front of the Angels dugout. And the count moves to 2-2. Ogando back up on top of the hill. Facing Callaspo, who's had some pretty good success against him, 3 out of 11. Snap throw to first, drives Howie Kendrick back. Kendrick with that base hit against Ogando, just his third in 13 at-bats. And Callaspo chops one foul off the screen in front of the Ranger dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Cayaspo loops one to right center field. In a hurry, Hamilton. He makes a fine running catch. Josh shading way over toward left center. Had a long way to go, and that ball not hit very high, but big man covering a lot of ground for the out.
Yeah, we're talking about Trout and Borges out there in center field. Craig Gentry. Josh Hamilton covers a lot of ground out in center field himself. You can see how far over he was playing in left center field. Has no problem getting to that line drive by Cayaspo.
So 2 gone now, and Vernon Wells will come to the plate. Wells 1 out of 6 with a double against Ogando in his career, and he takes a breaking ball that is just out of the zone for ball 1. Vernon, see that strikeout he had back in the 7th inning. Other than that, is flied out the other 2 times. Ogando back to him, and that fastball in the dirt. Boy, Mike Napoli bounce all over the place back there. That is pretty difficult when you throw a fastball like Ogando can, and straight down into the dirt out in front of home plate. And Napoli, all he can do is get his body in the same zip code and hope it bounces off of him. It did that time. You just never know on a fastball like that which way it's going to bounce. At least a breaking ball, you have an idea it's probably going to go the opposite way it's spinning. But fastball, don't know. All bets are off. Next pitch is popped up foul. That will reach the seats behind home plate. Two and 1 the count to Vernon Wells. And the pitch from Ogando with Kendrick on the move. Lofted to right field. Cruz a play as he moves toward the line, makes the catch, and that'll do it. The Angels, no runs a hit. They strand their 4th runner of the night. Rangers come to bat at the bottom of the 8th, trailing the
.62 we head to the bottom of the 8th. Buzz and Tom, you may remember this little guy from last night. He was behind the Angels' third base dugout. TJ is his name, from Round Rock. He decided to come back here and see his good buddy Nelson Cruz in right field. TJ, congratulations. You've been yelling all game long. What have you been yelling?
Let's go, Rangers!
He's been losing his voice out here. He's all painted up, got the Nelson Cruz shirt on, and also looking for his rally because he's got the rally cap on. Congratulations. Here's the bag. One more time, TJ. Let's go, Rangers.
Let's go, Rangers!
There we go. All right. Way to go, TJ.
All right, Duxley. Yeah, that a boy, TJ. Get that Ranger fan going. Now, the Rangers need to get themselves going, and they're facing a new pitcher now, the right-hander Jason Isringhausen, on to face the top of the order here in the 8th inning. A 6-2 Angel lead. And Ian Kinsler starting things off, takes ball 1 outside. Isringhausen becomes the 3rd pitcher used tonight, and there are the numbers for the right-hander this year.
Yeah, he's having a good year. I remember way back when he was one of several top young starting pitchers for the Mets.
Hard hit ball flagged down by Cayaspo, and Kinsler is gunned down corner to corner. 1 away for Elvis Andrus.
Had some injury problems back then, but went on to become a pretty good closer. Setup guy now for the Angels. Made the team out of spring training and doing a nice job for him.
Elvis steps to the plate 0 for 3 tonight. Reach on a fielder's choice. And the first pitch from Isringhausen nails down the outside corner for strike 1. Angels 6 runs on 7 hits tonight. Rangers 2 runs on 5 hits. And Elvis fights it off foul to the right. It's 0-2. Folks, the all-new $2 Powerball from the Texas Lottery has landed, and the current estimated annuitized jackpot is $158 million. Play today because Powerball has changed for the bigger. No balls, 2 strikes to Elvis Andrus. Isringhausen back to him, and that slow breaking ball just a little bit high. It's 1-2. Well, Isringhausen used to have that big 12-6 curveball that would paralyze people. That's when he threw a little bit harder, Tom, when he first came up.
That was a great strikeout pitch for him. Not quite the same breaking ball now that it was then, but
right.
Still effective, though. Still knows what he's doing out there. His fastball used to be low to mid-90s with that big, hard breaking ball.
Well, was just getting a piece of that last pitch, and he stays alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. And there's that slower version of the power curveball. It's 2-2 now to Andrus.
First years that he was a closer were with Oakland. He saved 33 and 34 games, and he went to St. Louis and had some really big years. 47 saves in 2004. 300 saves in his career, so he was a closer for 7 or 8 years, and a good one.
Elvis, a chopper out to short. 2 big hops to Isturis. 2 gone. Well, folks, tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Southwest for Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. Visit www.hometownkids.tv for more information. Base is empty, 2 away. Adrian Beltre tonight 0 for 3. And Isringhausen working to him. Beltre fouls it straight back and out of play. Beltre 0 for 5 in his career against Jason Isringhausen. Matter of fact, looking down the matchup sheets, Mike Napoli about the only one who is the only Ranger right now that's had more than 1 hit against Isringhausen. Napoli just 2 hits. Pitch outside. The ball and a strike as Beltre waits. That ball's hammered to right center field. Trout going back. Still going back at the track. He makes the catch. Adrian hit it on the button, but hit it to the longest part of the ballpark. It stayed in just barely. Signed retired. Isringhausen works a 1-2-3 inning. Ninth inning coming up. Rangers trailing by 4. Rangers ballpark is August the 12th. Rangers hosting the Detroit Tigers in a 2:05 start. In addition to Dollar Ice Cream, the first 10,000 kids 13 and under will receive an Ian Kinsler bobblehead, compliments of Coca-Cola and Tetco. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com. '21-year-old left-hander Martin Perez now has entered the ballgame, and he will take over and pitch the ninth against the Los Angeles Angels, who lead 6-2.
And Martin Perez, I'm sure, was one of the young Ranger prospects that other teams mentioned when the Rangers talked trades over the last few weeks. Someone the Rangers are very reluctant to include in any trade talks. So reluctant that here he is back on the mound after the trade deadline.
Ground ball off the side of the mound. Elvis has it behind the bag at second. And Historis is gunned down to start the ninth inning.
I think Martin has really been impressive since he was called to the big leagues. He's been the youngest player just about every minor league team, for every minor league team he's been on. And when you're the youngest player in every league, playing with kids that are 3 and 4 years older than you are, even though you have great promise, sometimes you struggle statistically, and that's been the case with him, especially at AAA. But he started to put it together pretty well in his last few starts down there. And when he's gotten the opportunity to start here in a pennant race, he's done a good job.
And at a first ball swinging, and that's picked off by Mitch Moreland down there at first. To the bag he goes. That's out number 2, and Mike Trout will come up.
Got a good fastball, good curveball, good changeup. Makings of the kind of stuff to be a good starting pitcher. That looks like John Radigan.
Let's go over and say hi to John.
Statue.
Yeah, no, that's John.
That's it. No, he's moving.
Look,
there he is.
I'm moving. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And I'm getting ready for Rangers Live, and there's not a lot to talk about regarding this one, at least not yet, but it was a busy day for the Rangers. We're going to hear from John Daniels tonight on Rangers Live, the post-game edition. Also ahead, we will look at the other options. Are the Rangers done? They may not be. This was the non-waiver trade deadline. They could still make trades in August, guys. We'll talk about it on Rangers Live right after the game.
Very interesting. A little hint of maybe some further developments down the road.
Yeah, there will always be deals after the deadline. You have to get waivers on a player, but a lot of guys pass through waivers. Some of the guys that pass through waivers are the guys with big contracts that teams don't want to claim.
Yeah.
Because if you claim them, you might end up with them.
Well, Rangers have been able to acquire some guys the last couple of years in August. Jeff Francoeur, I believe, was acquired in August a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. Pitch outside to Mike Trout. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Occasionally, teams in a pennant race will claim a player, not because they really need him, but because they don't want one of the other contenders to get that player. And they do it, and they assume that the team will take that player off waivers and keep him. Sometimes the team goes, fine, you claimed him, you got him. And then the team goes, whoa, I got to pay this guy a ton of money. We didn't want him. We just wanted to block him from going to another team.
Now, that happened to the White Sox with Alex Rios a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it did.
His big contract.
And now he's playing well, and they're probably pretty happy. But for a couple of years, it didn't look that good. I remember when Randy Myers, not sure who he was with, but I think it was the Padres that claimed him. Maybe it was the Padres that put him on waivers.
Oh, what a play by Beltre. Off balance throw in the dirt, dugout, not in time.
Well, that's too bad, because that's about as well as you can make that play, but it's the wrong guy running.
Yeah.
Almost got Trout anyway. Beltre fielded that. It was a pretty hard hit ball. He fielded it, got rid of it quickly. Very close play. Wash is going to argue it. Trout's speed, he got the call. Watch how quickly he gets up and throws it. Nice play by Mitch to scoop it. The call goes the Angels' way.
Well, that's incredible just to get a throw off that quickly with that much on it from that position. You're going to have an awful lot of arm strength to do that. Well, it goes an infield single for Mike Trout, his second hit of the night. And that is his 9th multiple hit game this year against the Rangers in 11 outings. Torrey Hunter now will step in and face Martin Perez. Hunter, a very big 2-run double his last time up, and Perez going to work on Mike Trout. Hunter now 47 RBIs, you see, after that 2-run double in the 7th inning. Perez with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball in there for strike 1. Martin ready, a check of Trout at first base. And a line drive into center field, a base hit. Trout will go first to third as Hamilton is playing deep, so it takes him a bit to get to the ball. And Torrey Hunter has his second consecutive hit. Runners at first and third, and here comes Albert Pujols.
First baseman Albert Pujols.
Angels now with 9 hits tonight off the quartet of Ranger pitchers. And Mike Paddock's out to talk to Martin Perez. Torrey Hunter, who is in the last year of his contract, and he has said that he would love to finish out his career with the Angels. He would even do so at a much reduced rate, if that would entice them to re-sign him after this year. Hunter finishing up a 5-year contract that he signed with the Angels. Now the guy that signed the huge contract, the 10-year deal with the Angels this last offseason, Albert Pujols, stepping to the plate. Pujols, a pair of solo home runs tonight, 2 for 4. Has Trout at third, Hunter at first. And the 21-year-old left-hander Martin Perez comes set. Off speed, finds the outside corner for strike 1.
Pujols has a very calm approach to hitting. Every hitter does something to get ready to hit. All he does is lift his heel up off the ground, keeps his toe on the ground. That's all that moves. No leg kick, no stride. The only trigger he has is that raising of his heel. Doesn't have a lot of head movement. Not a big swing, but a short, quick stroke. Early in the season, we didn't see him much early in the season. I don't know what was the problem early in the season, but there's no problems right now.
No. Early in his career, he had a little bit of a leg lift, didn't he?
I don't remember.
I think he did a little bit. I mean, it never was drastic. Round ball up the middle behind the bag at second. Kinsler will step on second, and that will do it. A good pitch by Martin Perez to get Pujols. Side retired, no runs, 2 hits, 2 up. Rangers coming to bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. It is 6-2 Los Angeles. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Head to your Texas Ford dealer for the summer sales event and enjoy some of the greatest deals of the season. Ford is the best in Texas. By Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Well, the bottom of the 9th has arrived. The Rangers need 4 to tie and 5 to walk it on home. But they're going to face one of the best in the business right now. And a surprise from earlier in the year, but Ernesto Frieri is on. And, boy, those numbers don't tell the half of it, of how good he has been for the Angels.
Yeah, it was one of those unusual impact trades early in the season. Generally, you see him right around the trade deadline, but the Angels picked up Frieri early in the season. What a difference he's made in their bullpen.
And the first pitch from the side-arming right-hander to Nelly Cruz is outside for ball 1.
I have to think if Frieri was throwing like this for the Padres right now, they could have gotten a lot more for him at the trade deadline.
You would think. Towering pop foul over to take a look is Callaspo, but that ball is on the roof of the Angels dugout, and the count moves to 1-1. Yeah, the way that San Diego is set up and looking for the future, they had a guy like Frieri who they just had completely given up on pitching late in a ball game.
Yeah. You know, maybe he wasn't consistent for them, but he's become consistent for the Angels.
Right. 1-1 pitch. And that's out of play to the right. Frieri, starting off with the Angels, had 13 outings where he didn't give up a hit. 13 straight outings, and that set a record.
He didn't give up a run for 26 innings. Leads the league in strikeouts for a reliever.
And he adds one more to that total as Nelly Cruz couldn't catch up with the 96-mile-an-hour fastball. That's out number 1.
Yeah, he's got velocity and the deception. He's got that quick arm. If you can call a guy throwing 96 miles an hour sneaky to go along with it, that's why he's so tough to hit.
Well, it must be, because the times we've seen him, Tom, it looks like guys are swinging in like he's throwing 106.
Yeah, it looks like it. I got a feeling he's very difficult to pick up along with it.
There's Josh Hamilton, who's 1 for 3 tonight with a run scored. Here's an off-speed pitch that Hamilton waited on pretty well, but foul tipped in the glove to Chris Iannetta.
You don't get a real good look at the ball before he lets go of it as a hitter. The ball stays behind his body until right at the end.
Hamilton hits it pretty well to left, but right there is Vernon Wells a few steps toward the line. And the Rangers now down to their final out with Michael Young coming to the plate.
He's only given up 11 hits in 31 innings. A 113 batting average. Occasionally he'll come in and be a little bit wild, though. He's walked 21 batters in 30 innings. Not all the time, but occasionally.
Michael, as you saw, 2 out of 3 tonight and takes the first pitch wide. Well, apparently that's what San Diego was fearful of before. They wouldn't put him in close situations late in the game because of his wildness. And then when he pitched, apparently it got into his head when he was pitching in the middle innings in relief. He couldn't control the ball at all, so he just never got it late again. It gets to be very much a mind game, I would think, for relievers. And they figure if they have one bad outing that's going to be it, and sometimes that turns out to be true.
Yeah, maybe it was the change of scenery that settled things down. Whatever it was, he's doing the job right now.
Michael Young fouls off the next pitch. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Young. Base is empty. Bottom of the 9th inning. Rangers trailing by 4. Crowd of 34,918 on hand here tonight. Rangers in need of a huge 2-out rally against Frieri. And call strike 3. That will do it. There will be no rally tonight as Michael Young caught looking. Frieri gets a couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning. And the Angels have won the first 2 games of this 4-game series. The final tonight, the Angels 6 and the Rangers 2. Jared Weaver, the winner, his 14th win of the year. And John Radigan, Mark McLemore will be right back to wrap things up from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington on Fox Sports Southwest.